Hey guys, welcome back to It's 420 Somewhere. Today we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers' psychedelic trip and the boomer dismissal of all things hallucinogenic. Alright, so there's this podcast out on YouTube along with a million other podcasts, but this one is interesting. I've never heard of it. It's called, it's the Aubrey Marcus podcast. Apparently it's this guy who's very into kind of holistic, spiritual, and psychedelic things. And he talks to a lot of people about their trips, their past trips that have really helped them. And he brought on the quarterback for the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, who is one of the best quarterbacks out there, and he talks about a trip that he had, in an ayahuasca trip that he claims helped him get MVP for 2 seasons in a row, and it really kind of took him out of his bubble of thinking, and he was able to grasp pure love and all of these things. And he really kind of credits ayahuasca for doing a lot for his career and his person as well. So if you're not familiar with ayahuasca, it is a vine that is then made into a tea that is typically taken in a ritualistic setting, whether it be somewhere in California, or a lot of people retreat all the way to Peru for the specific shamans there who are very well versed in ayahuasca. And it's an all-night experience where people kind of sit in a circle and the shaman goes around and checks on everybody, and it can be a very intense purging experience where you poop your pants, where you vomit all over, and it can be very intense, but also you kind of come out the other end feeling much more clear about what life is, what love is, where you see yourself, and a lot of things. That, or some people don't have that experience. I've had friends who didn't really have the best experience, but it's all over the map, and Aaron Rodgers did have a very good experience, and here's him talking about it.
It was a very deep and meaningful couple nights ceremony, and I came back and knew that I was never going to be the same. And like you said, it doesn't. You don't do that, and then for me, I didn't do that and think, oh, I'm never playing football again. No, it gave me a deep and meaningful appreciation for life. And my intention the first night going in was, I want to feel what pure love feels like. That was my intention. And I did. I really did. I had a magical experience with the sensation of feeling 100 different hands on my body, imparting a blessing of love and forgiveness for myself and gratitude for this life from what seemed to be my ancestors.
So you can see he talks about intention there, which is a very important part of these more framed psychedelic experiences, where set and setting is crucial. I mean, it should be crucial to pretty much every psychedelic experience, but for the ones where you're going on retreats, it's especially crucial. And he set an intention before going in. His intention was to see pure love, and it worked. I think if you kind of set an intention, you're going to open your mind to that, so you can really be very selective with intentions. And so it seems like it worked out for him, and he really had a life-changing experience with ayahuasca. I've never done it. I have a few friends who've done it and have had really, really large experiences. I don't want to say good or bad, but big experiences, and that's kind of all you can really hope for with ayahuasca. So we have that. Aaron Rodgers is in the NFL. The NFL is a huge industry, and with lots of fans, and a lot of the fans tend to be, or can be, very closed off to these kind of like spiritual, Eastern-minded things, and we got some backlash from this, or he got some backlash from this. One of the things that I heard was people saying, well, this is an illegal drug, why didn't he get punished for it? Why didn't the NFL punish him? Because now he's coming out and saying that he did it. Yeah, sure, I guess that's fine. It's a bit of a limited kind of NFL-centric view of the experience, but that's fine, I get that. Another response that I saw, which is even more interesting and kind of just gets taken out of the rule book from like the 70s. It's almost wild how old-fashioned and narrow-minded this viewpoint is, but it's coming from Colin Cowherd, who is a very well-known commentator, very well-known sports commentator, has his own radio show, and he talks about this podcast that Aaron Rodgers was in, and he has some very enlightening viewpoints on the whole thing.
So Aaron drank a psychedelic tea that made him hallucinate and yak, and he said it took him to a different realm. Aaron, I'm older than you. It happened to me, too. It was college. I had 6 rum drinks in 90 minutes. I saw weird things and yak, too. I moved into a different realm. It was the realm of that's the worst damn hangover I've ever had in my life. And it changed me. The next morning, I absolutely made a point in my life to never drink Captain Morgan's again. Aaron, lots of people have tried this psychedelic tea. They're called hippies, burnouts, and affluent white people with too much time on their hands and nobody in their life to call out their crap.
Wow. I mean, obviously he's definitely being as humorous as possible about the whole situation, but he's also like really shedding light on a typical mindset or a stigma around psychedelics that has been just here for decades now. And the fact that it's still here to this extent is important for me to see, because I don't realize that there are so many people like this out there. And this is why these things move so slowly, even with more and more research being done showing the huge benefits for depression, for PTSD, and even for people that don't experience that stuff, to get out of their neuroplastic minds and to see something new. It's fascinating that somebody can be so uneducated on what's going on right now. And especially somebody with his platform who's speaking to thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, people every day about sports, about the right way to be an athlete, and all these things. And it's kind of frustrating to see and also enlightening, so I can't get too mad at it. So that's kind of the story we have today. It's New Music Friday. There's an album called Reset by Panda Bear. I highly recommend it to kind of anybody because it's a really fascinating album. So what he did for this album was he took old samples from old songs, took just the initial few seconds of a snippet, put it on loop, and then made a song out of these samples. And what he made with these retro sounds is like a very, very kind of almost Beach Boys surfy sound, and is beautiful. It's so cool. Then that is juxtaposed with really dark themes in his lyrics, and so we have this very pleasant sounding thing mixed with extremely dark and bleak and dystopian lyricism throughout the whole thing, and it's so worth your time even if you don't read into it that much. It's a pleasant album front to back. I can't wait to listen to it again after I stop recording, and I'm going to stop recording right now, and we'll be back next week with some more stories. I'll see you then.